Hello, everyone. This is a really, really exciting thing for me now. So this is episode 3 of the Construction Cogs Podcast. This is the first ever one that I've done visual. The other two I did audio only. They're on Spotify, so you can see them on Spotify. So this one is going out on YouTube because you're watching it now, but it'll also be out on Spotify as well. Episode 3 of Series 1. My guest is Ania Bułecka. She's a slinger signaller, crane supervisor for Select. She's currently on maternity leave at the moment. She's just had a baby, so she's very kindly going to be a guest for me for my first ever visual show. So without further ado, let's get her in. But bear with me because I'm not very good with this sort of stuff. So we'll see how this goes because I've just been trying to figure it all out yesterday and while I'm doing it now. So could go pear-shaped. Hopefully it'll be all right. So let's get her in. She's in the waiting room at the moment. That's all right. How you doing, Ania? You all right?
I'm very good. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad at all. Thanks. Thanks so much for being my guest. It's a real pleasure having you on.
Oh, it's an honor to be here.
Especially on a Sunday as well. I've got my kit on. I see you got your Liverpool thing on in the background as well. So literally just finished the last game of the season. Just finished watching that, jump straight onto this from there. So you understand your boyfriend's a Scouser, isn't he? He's a Liverpool fan, yeah?
Yes, he's a massive fan. He was screaming and shouting, and then he was upset all day long because Jürgen is leaving.
Oh, I know. It's heartbreaking. I don't suppose you care much, really, though, do you?
I mean, I feel sad, it's a big thing for the club, isn't it? He was an important person. He changed a lot.
Yeah,
Unless after something good comes something better.
Well, this is it, hopefully. Or it could be worse. You never know.
You never know. Well, we'll see.
We've got the win today anyway. That's the main thing. So let's start with let's tell us a little bit about yourself then. Where it all started, how you got into construction and all that.
Well, I got into construction accidentally. As a student, I came to England and I said, well, I need some job, don't I? So I started looking for Gumtree. I think at that time Gumtree was a big one to look for a job. And I found a job that was construction cleaning. And I thought, well, why not? You know what I mean? Job is a job. You will give me money over that 3 months period of my holidays. So I started as a cleaner. And then I made friends with few people who told me, well, you should become a traffic marshal. It's a bit better than being cleaner, pays a bit more and it's like a job. So then I've become a traffic marshal, and then I saw the crane. I fell in love and I wanted to become a slinger. And then eventually after years, I progressed to be a slinger and a crane supervisor now.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So so it all happened quite quickly as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back a bit first though. So you was a student.
Yeah.
So you was a student in Poland, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was studying to be actually a teacher.
You were studying to be a teacher. So you were studying here?
No, I was studying back home in Poland. So in Poland, when you study, you've got 3 months off in the summertime, July, August, and September. And every year I was coming to England for them 3 months just to make extra money because it was obviously financially better to come to England than work in my country. So I was studying in Poland, and after finishing my bachelor's degree, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, what to study on master's. So I've decided to give myself a gap year and just stay in England, work a little bit, save some money. And then I started working for back then Expounded. And I kind of stayed working for them. I actually met my ex-boyfriend, and I think because of him, I stayed in London. So I finished my master's degree actually living in London and studying in Poland. So for 2 years, every 2 weeks, I was flying to Poland for classes.
Wow. That's some dedication.
Yeah.
So
that is a dedication.
So you got a degree, master's degree.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you actually do any teaching?
No, I never really had a chance because when I finished bachelor's, I couldn't really start teaching. I needed master's back home in Poland, And in the meantime, I started working on site, and working on site pays you better than being a teacher. So I actually finished my degree, but never had a chance to teach. And sometimes I think to myself, well, I've spent so much time studying and I don't really do it. But who knows, maybe one day I'll become a teacher.
So do you fancy it then, yeah?
I'm not sure, to be fair. I thought it's a good option to be a teacher because you've got holidays, quite long summer holidays. And I think in Poland, you actually have more time off because my mom is a teacher and she was always off with us. So there was no problem for like childcare or anything. I thought it would be good just to share the knowledge. But then, my mom always told me so many stories how kids can be sometimes. I'm not sure if I would like to teach.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I was going to say. Do you regret your decision choosing construction over teaching?
Not really. I think, you know what? I believe we shouldn't really regret things. Everything happens for a reason, and we do things for a reason. So yes, I've spent years studying. I've spent money on flights. My parents spent money for my university, and I've never used my degree, but it doesn't mean I will never use it. So at that moment of my life, when I finished university, I knew I wanted to do construction. I knew I wanted to do something with cranes. So I thought, well, no one will take away that degree from me. So whenever I'm ready or I want to change something, I'll just become a teacher.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm happy I stayed in construction.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So, did you work in construction in Poland at all? Did you do any jobs over there in it?
No, in Poland, I actually had proper, let's call it girly jobs. I worked like a shop assistant or something, selling clothes in big brands. No, I only worked here in England. And as I said, it all happened accidentally. I just thought like, well, job is a job, so I just took it and I ended up actually being a crane supervisor now after obviously a few years.
So how is that?
Well, it's great, but it's stressful as well because I've realized I don't really like telling people what to do.
Right.
So I think like I only, I was working on one job as a crane supervisor and I had an apprentice, a guy who just finished Select Lifting Academy. And it was easier with him because he was in the process of learning. So it was easier to, let's call it, manage him. But I just realized I don't really like telling people what to do. I like when you work as a team, and yes, I will take responsibility for the lift, but not really like tell them, listen, you have to go and lift this and do that. That's not me.
Yeah, see, it's a tricky one. But so to be a slinger, then jump to the crane supervisor, you want to sort of be friends with the people, but it's hard to, you kind of got to be there not to be friends, haven't you? You got to get the job done, sort of thing. And obviously, you're getting pressure from all the black hats and everything, and you've got to pass that down. And obviously, you know what it's like. People so you're going to slag the black hats off, and they're going to slag you off as well.
Yeah. But it's also quite difficult if you have to actually tell people who have been working longer than you in construction, people who have more experience or more knowledge, and you actually have to tell them what to do. That's the awkward bit for me. If I speak to someone who's been, let's say, slinging for 30 years, because there are people who's been doing it for years, I feel very strange just to tell the person, hey, listen, can you just go and do this? Because I'm like, well, he should know. He knows the job better than me. So I question myself, why am I in this position, not him?
Right. So you doubted yourself. Yeah.
I think I always do. I think that's why, you become a good because you don't believe in yourself and you try harder.
Yeah. I get that. But do you think you got the respect?
I think yes, because I always believe if you respect people, you get the respect back. And I try to be friendly with everyone. I try to respect them. And even if I have to tell them they have to do something, I don't do it in a rude way. I just try to be like pleasant and just say to them, mate, could you please go and do this lift? I think this is better approach than, hey, listen, you have to go and do it, Yeah,
it must be. I mean, it must be difficult though, because obviously you wasn't in it that long. You're quite small, aren't you? You're quite a small lady,
yeah.
And there's quite a there can be quite small-minded people out of there that think, oh, what's she fucking telling me what to do for? You know what I mean? What does she know? Did you have any of that?
Oh yeah, I heard it many times.
Yeah. How'd you deal with that then?
Well, I usually try to deal with a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke. I just try to make the situation easy. I've realized there is no point to get upset because I've got my opinion, somebody else has the opinion. So instead of arguing with them people, I'll just show them I know how to do the job. So I just try to be nice, but sometimes you just have to actually be a bit tougher and just tell them a few not really nice words.
Yeah. Well,
but I think if you deal with a smile, that's better approach.
Yeah, I think so. It's all about how you deal with people and how you speak to people. If you've got a chip on your shoulder, then it's not going to be good for you. It's not going to go well for you. But I mean, I've worked with you briefly. We worked together. I was covering on your job a few times, wasn't it? So probably for a few
Yeah.
weeks on and off.
Yeah.
And truthfully, you were one of the best slingers there, no doubt.
Thank
You knew
you.
what you was doing in terms of spanking the crane and also knowing your job as well. So yeah. So and you're one of four people, like four Polish people, who are the best slingers I've ever had. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's a Polish thing? Is it? Do you think it's a coincidence, or what? Or do you think it's just the mannerisms or the methodical thinking of the Poles? What do you reckon?
That's a very good question. And to be fair with you, I was thinking of it because I've got a few mates who actually work for Select and they are Polish and they got quite high in the hierarchy. But to be fair with you, I don't know if I can answer this. Maybe it's just because we have to work in different language, so we focus a little bit more on what we do. And there is also the aspect of coming to foreign country where you just have to survive. You can't really run away back to your parents because they're a bit too far. So maybe you just try to be as best as you can as your job just to keep it. But maybe it's just our thing because I had a conversation with my cousin's father-in-law. He obviously works in Poland in a shipyard, but he does a bit of crane banking himself. Those cranes are different, in a shipyard. It's a bit of a different job. But I had a conversation with him. And you know what? That man had a massive experience. And the way he was talking, you could just see he's brilliant at this. So maybe it's just a Polish thing.
Possibly. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, not everyone's perfect though. But so have you ever fucked up? Everyone fucked up, didn't they? What have you fucked up in your slinging or crane supervising?
Well, I can tell you that probably quite a few times I've sent a bundle of steel that didn't look the greatest, and it's really not on the level and some bits are just sticking out. But I don't think I had any major fuck up, just probably the little ones because I'm quite a safe person. I like taking my time to think. That's why I hate when someone stands behind me like, oh, come on, hurry up, do it quicker, do it quicker. I just need my time to think. Like, I hope I didn't have any big one. I don't remember. I know I've sent like steel a few times that didn't look really nice,
Yeah,
well, a few times I've sent the crane and I said, oh, sorry, mate, we're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Then, when you hear the silence, you know what the driver thinks of you.
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes it can be annoying, but I mean, nobody's perfect. Like I say, honestly, I fucked up loads of times. It's just the nature of it, isn't it, really? The thing is though, sometimes it's such long hours, isn't it? And you've got to be on full concentration all the time. You can't get it right every time. And you get pressure. You got all the chaos and everything. So, yeah, we'll let you off. Yeah. So, but you're not working at the moment.
No.
Because you've had a little one.
Yes. My little baby girl, Lilly.
Lilly, yeah. How old is she?
She's 5 months now.
Wow. Little bundle of joy, yeah? Or is she a pain in the ass?
Oh, well, it depends on the day.
Yeah. How's it going?
Well, it's all going great. I didn't really think I will enjoy my maternity leave so much, but I actually do. I was a bit stressed. What will I do with that baby? I think everyone who has the first baby, they just think, well, what will I do with that baby when the baby doesn't sleep? But I actually enjoy it. We go for walks a lot, and it's just lovely. I think I try to appreciate every moment I spend with her because sooner or later I'll be back at work and, I'll be just gone for long hours.
Yeah, and not only that, they just grow quick. Especially I think it's the first 5 years, they grow the quickest that they grow in their life and they develop the quickest that they, and like I can remember my boy, carrying him around in one arm like that with his head there and his legs hanging down there. And I remember him struggling when he went on to formula milk, struggling to go toilet. So having to literally pull poo out of his bum. And now he's like almost bigger than me and he's going into the bloody paratroopers. It's just mental. It's just like that. It's just gone. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Just appreciate it while you can. But are you getting the support you need? Like through work and that sort of stuff? Obviously, because they've got a scheme now, haven't they, where they're giving sort of full pay and stuff for a while.
Yes, they do this equal parenthood leave. So men and women can actually go on the same scheme. So you're paid 100% for 6 months, 50% for 3 months, and 3 months 0. So you decide when you come back. And obviously you can come back for 80% of the time and you're paid for 100. So, you
Right.
can just for like, I think it's 13 weeks, like a gradual comeback. So you can just, get back into work again.
Yeah. So, so like you do the odd days every now and again. Can you, what they call it? Keep in touch days you do, isn't it? Keep in touch days.
Yes. So every now and then, even now, I get an email from Select telling me like, oh, I'm getting to the period of 6 months, so my pay will change. That's the holidays I've got left. So the company is really like keeping on top of all of that. I can't really complain.
So equal parents. So if you was a bloke and your missus had a baby, it'd be the same for you as well then, wouldn't it? So you get that
Yes,
pay.
I actually know one guy who went for this when I was on the Everton job. One of the steel fixers had a baby and he spent 6 months with the baby, and he really appreciated it because he said he never had a chance to be with his other babies. So he used that scheme with this one and he just enjoyed every moment of it.
Yeah, it's wicked. There's I know a lot of people that are taking advantage of it, but it must be a headache for management though, because they've got to now find all these people, haven't they, to replace and to cover them and that sort of stuff. But
That's quite a big one. But I think it's a great one because, well, construction is mostly a business where you find men, and men never have a chance to spend so much time with family. So it's really nice, they get the option at least. Well, you don't have to take the whole 6 months. You can take a month, you can take 2, you can choose how much you want to take.
Well, this is it. I mean, the thing is, like, when women, like, let's say, I mean, did you have a natural birth?
Yeah.
Or was it cesarean? Yeah. So, I mean, with a cesarean, I mean, you're laid up sometimes you could be laid up for ages, isn't it? And you need like support for weeks and weeks. So if there's no support network, what are they going to do? So it's good that a man can just be at home and support the woman and, help her out and do the heavy lifting and emotional support and that sort of stuff, keep an eye on everything. Yeah,
yes, I agree. Good. I think it's a great scheme and more companies should go for it.
Yeah. So when are you thinking of going back?
So my maternity leave ends in December.
Right.
So, Langor sent me an email saying how much holidays I've got left. And I was advised before I actually went on maternity just to use that holiday. So I'm thinking of probably I'll use my holidays and then come back to work. So that'll be beginning of next year.
You're going to fucking hate it. You know that, didn't you? The first day back, it's going to be proper shit. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, But what scares me most? Like the cost of the childcare.
Well, there is that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is not cheap, but I mean, what do you do? It's a case of balancing out, isn't it? So you're going to be a skint by the time you go back anyway, because you're going to be on the lower pay while you're off. So, well, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You've got to try and get some cheap, whatever, like childcare people, nannies, whatever you call them. What do you call them? would they do come round, or do you put them in a place, or take them round to somebody's house, or what?
I don't really know. My mom is actually coming for a few months from Poland. Right. She's retired now. So she said when I have to get back to work, she will just come just to help us. Unfortunately, due to Brexit, she can't really stay for too long. But we'll see how it goes. I used to stress about it a bit because, you've got this like fear of separation with your baby, but also excitement to get back to your normal life. But I've decided not to think of it. And, I'll worry probably somewhere in November.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, worry when you get there. Yeah, that's it. So let's get back to the work.
Yes.
Did you pay for your crane supervisor ticket, or did Select do that?
So if we come back to Slinger, Expanded paid for it because back then, we weren't for Select, we were for Expanded. So they paid for my ticket. And for my crane supervisor and AP, I paid myself because it was only a few months of me banking, well, maybe around the year. And I've decided to learn something more, go on another course. And I just put myself on that course. But no, that was still Expanded back then. They paid for my blue card for the crane supervisor and AP.
So you just said AP. We haven't touched on that yet. I was going to mention you've got your AP ticket now as well, which you haven't had a chance to use yet, have you? Because baby come along, they do that. Babies come along and disrupt things.
Well, I used it for a few months when I was in London before I moved to Liverpool. I used it for a few months. But to be fair with you, I don't think I'm ready to be an AP. I need to learn more. I need to get more experience. So I wouldn't mind just to work with AP and learn from him or her, but not to be an AP on my own. I don't think I'm ready for it.
That's fair enough. So when was you a full AP on your own for a few months, or was you assisting?
There were a few APs, but all of those APs, they were engineers. So, when you
Right.
got like main engineers for the project, and they were APs as well, but it was only like beginning of the project. There were no workers. No one was on site yet for us. So I had few months to look at other lift plans and try to create something for us. I had support from them. I had massive support from Max, our lead AP for Langor. But, when actual job, writing the lift plan wasn't really that hard. But the actual job, that's where you need experience and a bit more knowledge. And I still don't have it, So I thought, no, I'm not ready for it. I'm happy to learn from someone, but not really take the job. And you know what? It's best to learn from someone who actually works as an AP, because that person probably comes from slinging or something. So that's the best person to learn from.
Yeah, fair play. It's not a job I'd want. That's why I just want to drive cranes, because I can finish my shift. As soon as I leave that gate, I'm not thinking about work at all. But, I know people who are APs that, like, sometimes they wake up 2:00 in the morning and think, oh, did I send that email? Did I do that? Did I do this? And check things. That's not for me. Not for me at all.
I think the worst about being an AP is being responsible for people's life, because if I plan that lift and I do something wrong, something can happen and someone can get hurt. I think that's my biggest fear of being an AP.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not easy. A lot of stress in it. Did you get much stress being
I'm not ready for
supervisor?
Not really.
No.
Well, the usual, we've got precast and we need to install whatever walls in a day. But I didn't really stress that much. I think I've learned how to stop stressing and just take the task after task. So I know people try to do it. They just, I would say other supervisors would stress. Oh my God, we need to install the walls and we're not ready and something's wrong with the crane. And you can just stress with them. But what's the point for that? You can just we can't do anything about that. We just have to wait, get it fixed, and then get the job done.
Yeah, there's always a solution to things, isn't there? People do tend to lose their heads a bit sometimes unnecessarily. There is no point, but there is always a solution. But what stresses me out is all the lastminute.com and incompetence, when lack of planning and incompetence. It's like, come on. When you think some of the things that are built, the engineering that goes into it is amazing, isn't it? Like jump forms, slip forms and that. It's some mad engineering. Everything's like precision, and they put up these big skyscrapers and all the precision's right, but they can't plan that crane's going to get into the way of that crane, and then they're blocking them for half hour. It's, you know what I mean? It's just stupidity. And then doing triple listen, sorry, it's just me having a bit of a moan now. I've got my crane driver red on.
But that's what we had. We had them problems. We had saddle cranes on my last job, and sometimes you just wanted to slow, but the other crane was in the way, and you couldn't slow the other way because of your back jib and ballast and everything. And you're just like, oh, what's the planning? But you see, what I really liked about my old job, we all had our areas with our lifting boxes. And I loved keeping everything in there. So all of the lifting accessories we used, everything was going back to the box. So in the end of not in the end, but towards middle of the job, maybe even the drivers knew oh yeah, we need something. Let's go to the box. But what was the worst? When I was on holiday and I was coming back and nothing was in that box.
Yeah. And you get you get other gangs coming into your box and nicking things as well and not putting them back and that sort of stuff.
But you see, if you keep everything together, I didn't stress because I was like, okay, I've got my, shackles or something hanging there, so I can just grab them. So if somebody says to me, oh, you've got a lift, you need to do something, blah, 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 you just go, oh yeah, I've got stuff in my lifting box. If you don't have it, then you stress because you can't find it and you've got people shouting at you.
Yeah. Not only that, but it keeps it all clean as well, doesn't it? It keeps it all well maintained, rather than just leaving the stuff on the ground in puddles and in the mud and shit like that.
I hate it. I even had my weekly checks when I was just spraying accessories. But maybe that's just me being crazy.
No, but it's it's right though. It's like you got to keep this shit organised, isn't it? Keep it, because all the stuff gets in it and grit gets in it and wears it down, and I've seen so much stuff that you can just absolutely filthy, and you don't really want to put your hands all over it, even though you're wearing gloves. It makes it all slippery and all that, and it goes all over you. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
That's not nice.
My favourite thing is as a crane driver is when the tagline's wet. Because I aim for the slingers all the time. When I've got a load, particularly, I aim for the slinger. Wherever they are, I aim. I send the load to them. So if I can get a tagline flapping around, smacking them around the head or whatever, or the chains. So you get 10 points for a slinger, 50 points for a black hat. or 100 points for a site management.
Oh, but you know what's the worst when you actually grab the tagline and that dirty water goes to your sleeve.
Oh yeah, it goes down
And
your
you're
arm.
just like,
And
oh,
it goes down your neck and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
lovely, isn't it?
that's the worst.
Yeah. So, why did you move from London? And you moved up to Liverpool, didn't you?
Yes. So I moved to Liverpool for personal reasons. My life just got a little bit complicated and I needed a break. I needed a change. And I knew, well, to be fair with you, I was considering moving back to Poland
Okay.
because I really needed a change. I really had to just change everything in my life just for my mental health. But then I was thinking, if I move back to Poland, I'll just lose everything. I won't really work as a person working with cranes in there. And I just didn't know what to do. And I had like somewhere in the back of my head, I had that thought of this job in here in Liverpool. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just ask for a transfer. Maybe that's the change I need, So to be fair with you, I was only planning to come here for the duration of the job and then probably coming back to London. But, life happened.
on the Everton Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. The mighty Blues, eh? So, what's it like up there? And what's it like compared to London?
It's completely different. Comparing to London, it's a very small city. I just love it because you can just drive everywhere. I live kind of on the outskirts and it takes me like maybe 20 minutes to drive to city center. When in London, it just takes you forever. Even in the biggest traffic jam, it was taking me 35 minutes to drive back home from work. So it's not bad, is it? When I was actually stuck in traffic. I remember when I used to live in London, it was taking me like hour and a half or even 2 hours just to get to work one way. And then you do those hours at work and then you just come back and the day is gone and you're exhausted. So I would say I really enjoy it, and I know what people say about Scouse people, but I found them really lovely and nice and everyone is just so friendly to you.
Yeah.
They always call me like love, and everything. And the accent, the accent is just so funny.
Yeah, well, when I spoke to you the other day on the phone, like we hadn't spoken in a little while, and I could just hear the accent in you. Like I was thinking, where the hell has this accent come from? Giving it the old and all that stuff. Like what?
It's a really catchy accent.
Yeah,
it's a really catchy one. You just listen to them and you just start sounding like them. It's unreal.
Yeah, I know. My mate years ago, a friend of mine, because he's got family up there, so they called him the Cockney Rebel. So he only went up there for about a year or two. He come back and I'm like, what are you talking like that for, mate? What's the matter with you? And he's just talking proper Scouse. I was like, how are you talking like that, But yeah, it is a weird one, isn't it? But there's a lot of characters in Liverpool there. A lot of great characters. They've got a good sense of humour, good music.
Yeah, true. Great places to go out.
Yeah. Is it still the I think it was the culture capital of Europe or the world at one stage, wasn't it? I don't know if it still is.
I'm not sure. I know they had Eurovision a year ago and it was loads of people. You just didn't want to go to city center because of Eurovision.
Yeah. So you're staying up there now, yeah?
Well, definitely. I've got my baby.
Yeah.
I've got my partner. Well, never say never, I never really know where we can end up. Life is an open book.
So you don't think you'd ever move back to Poland?
Sometimes with my boyfriend, we talk about it because he loves Poland. He just loves being there. I grew up in a countryside and my parents still live there. So just to give you a picture, you're surrounded by fields and forests and you've got space. You can hear birds singing. You don't really hear that many cars. There is not much noise like the city noise. And he just loves it and I love it. So sometimes we just say, well, maybe when kids get a little bit older or maybe when we get older, we'll move to Poland just to retire.
Yeah. Is there much work though? Oh, you retire out of there? Yeah. Okay.
If you were meant to move, my boyfriend can work from all over the world. He's okay to just work being anywhere. I would work as a teacher. I would say with the work, it depends if you want to work and what are your expectations. There are areas in Poland where you've got more work for better wages, and there are areas where people are just jobless. But I think loads of people who don't really work, they just choose not to work, or they are not satisfied with the job.
Yeah. I find that here actually, you find that a lot of English, I mean, there is work out there, right? There's work out there, but you got people on a dole, I can't find any jobs, But I mean, if they was offered a cleaning job, they probably wouldn't take it. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. But it's work, isn't it? But a lot of people have problems with foreigners, people like yourself coming over here and taking work, but
Yes.
take the job yourself, So many people, Polish, Romanians, have worked for a lot of, they're grafters. They put the shifts in, Have you found there's a lot of stigma to that, or it has been in the past about foreigners coming in? Have you had any problems with that at all?
I heard it a few times. I think maybe it was, some of them were definitely a joke, how people joke around. And some of them were probably true. What I was told, actually, you're coming here, you're stealing our job and our men.
Yeah.
That's what I was told, It's just because I've got like an English partner, people say I steal the man, But I usually try to joke around, because when people say to me, oh, the foreigners coming and stealing the job, I always say, well, just tell your missus to come and do my job then.
Yeah, exactly.
And usually people just go like, oh, she wouldn't do that. And I'm like, so whose job am I stealing then? What, yours?
Yeah.
You don't have qualifications.
Yeah, exactly that. I used to joke about myself, used to wind them up, especially when there was Brexit. To tell the lads, like, obviously joking around, they're coming around with a big lorry to collect you now, don't you? They're waiting outside.
But you see, it's good when you joke around, isn't it? I love them jokes, and I used to, just take the banter and just laugh with people. But some people are actually honest about that. Luckily for me, I never really experienced it in a very bad way. But I know people who lived here longer, who's been here years before me, they experienced it a little bit more, because everything changes. It used to be different on coming to England. It used to be different in construction, even if, like, when I started.
Yeah. The banter. You probably miss that a bit now, don't you?
I think that's the thing I miss the most. Proper banter, proper jokes, and everything. It's just, I love spending time with my baby, but it's not really the same, is it? And I think the construction banter is a bit of a different one, isn't it?
It is really. It is like when when my wife hears me talk to people, when I tell her stories and that, like, she says, like, you actually talk to people like that? I was like, well, yeah, of course. So I wish I could say that to someone and get away with it. It's like, it's just the way it is, you just brush it off. You could probably be screaming at someone about something as well and have a go at them, and then it just brush it off and it's done with in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, that's what I miss, Oh, listen, now it's all of my memories are coming back. Proper banter on the job.
Yeah.
Now I just want to get back.
Yeah. But what did you struggle with? What do you think you struggled with most then as a slinger, as an inexperienced slinger, particularly?
Well, what I usually struggle with is the weight of the lifting accessories. Some of the chains, I can't even lift them to put them on the hook.
Yeah.
My favorite story ever is when I was actually on the Everton job, and we had some heavy chain blocks. And, I tried to be organized and put them back on the rack, and I just couldn't lift it. And I had to use the crane just to do it, and the crane was just slowly coming down. And I was trying just to push and just to put it on the rack. And then there is a guy called Big Mike. He actually won the title for Liverpool's strongest man. And he just grabbed that chain block with one arm and he hanged it like a coat.
Yeah. Do you know what I used to do? Sorry, go on.
No.
Right, yeah. You know what I used to do is when I was on the crane, so they say you had to put the big, like, 14-ton chains on or whatever, the big ones. So they'd obviously want the block quite low, so they didn't have to lift them up. So I would let them get up in the air, and then I'll just raise the block up a little bit. Jim, stop fucking around. So I let them do it again. I'll probably do that 2 or 3 times, just raise the block up, so that just watch them struggle. But we've got some big ones in a minute. So I'm on a job now as we've got the big 1600 cranes. And lifted 70 tons. So some of those accessories are like mental, like mad heavy. Like even the shackles, like 120-ton shackles, are just huge. Like, how do you bloody lift them up there?
That's what I really struggle with, the weight of them. So that's why I was mostly on, let's call it, lighter lifts. Because, I will try everything. But when we had to pull up some stairs or something, I could hang myself on them chain blocks and they didn't move at all. So I think that's one thing. And second thing, what I always struggled with? The radio.
What do you mean?
I was just afraid, like, maybe not afraid, but ashamed of talking on the radio. when I started working and people were talking to me, I was just like, I can't understand them. I have no idea what he's saying. Because radio changes the voice a little bit. Plus, I'm a foreigner, so sometimes when people have a thick accent, I was just like, "Oh my god!" And I remember when I started banking, they were saying to me, "Come on, back the crane, talk to the driver." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to be talking on the radio. Can I just give you hand signals?"
You know what? Funny that actually, because when I because I did the apprenticeship to become a crane driver, so I had it was a big process. So I had to do a telephone interview first. And you know John Young, so he'd done the interview, so he's Scouser. And I was on the phone with him and I said to him, look, mate, I'm struggling here. I said, I hope it ain't going to be like this, because if I can't understand you here now, I'm not going to be able to understand people on the radios, all the noise. So I was actually questioning whether I was going into the right industry, but you do kind of get used to it. You do kind of, after a little while, tune into what people are saying and all that. But you know what I struggle with most is the Northerners, like proper thick Northern accents, like from like Sheffield and stuff, like Bradford, all that sort of area where they speak really quickly. I have to tell them to slow down a little bit, like the steel erectors and that. Yeah, so that is a struggle. But but
have you ever tried listening to Scottish people?
Oh, mate, honestly, yeah. Sometimes you just have to say, yeah, mate, yeah, just sort of like guess and go, yeah. Whatever.
I went once on the channel when we had a Scottish driver, just a cover up for a week. And I went on their channel. I just wanted to ask if they had anything, but I was like, I jumped in the middle of the conversation. And when you stand there and wait for people to stop talking, and they were talking, and that driver was talking, and he was talking. And it was me and another guy. We were listening and we had no idea what he was saying. In the end, we knew it was about football because he was saying Celtic Glasgow.
Yeah.
So we just went like, oh yeah, definitely something about football, but we just couldn't hit, like, I don't know. And you know what? I felt so bad because I asked the question. Eventually I asked the question, he replied, and I was just standing there with two other guys then, and we're like, what did he say?
Yeah. No, it's mad, isn't it? It's very difficult, especially when you've got loads of noise, you've got breakers going and people shouting and reels and all sorts. That's why it can be a bit of an headache in the cab, because it's just like a box and you've got the two radios in your ears and you've got all the noise. Sometimes they're right underneath us. So sometimes I just want to get in and I just want silence for a little while when I'm at home, just like silence, just to like, just sort of just get rid of it all for a little bit before everyone starts talking to me again. Yeah. But we're almost out of time now, aren't we? Because you have to get Lilly bathed and that, don't you, and ready for bed and all that sort of stuff. So I won't keep you too long. What was I going to say to you? Okay. I don't like to use the word regret. So what do you think you could have done better or handled differently in your work life?
I think I would get into lifting earlier than I did.
Really?
I've wasted so much, well, not maybe so much time, but I've wasted some time walking around like upset little girl, saying, oh, I want to bang the crane. I would like to bang the crane. And then people said, well, not everyone, but some people said to me, no, it's not a job for you. No, you're made for better things. No, you finished university. You should be doing office work. And I kept saying, no, I want to work with cranes. Then people say, why don't you go for AP? And I said, no, I want to start in the bottom to learn the job. And I've wasted like probably good 2 years of my life just wanting to do something and not doing anything about it. Being proper upset little princess. I just want to do it, but no one allows me.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I regret.
Yeah, because Polish culture, they're really big on like education and that sort of stuff, aren't they? Academic stuff, aren't they? Is that right? It's quite a big thing.
When I was in high school and then going to university, I think it was just so popular just to go to university. And some of the studies people finished, they were just, honest to God, good for nothing, what can you do after this? So it's like a culture of studying. So we always say we're very educated and we don't really have any experience because we only finished high school in my times at the age of 19. Then you go to spend 5 years at university. So you're like 24, 25 and you've got zero experience.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you made the choice now and you're there and you're doing it now. So you're flying.
Finally.
Next one. Let's say, so you obviously we all got to start somewhere. If a young lady comes up to you and says she wants to get into the lifting industry, what would you say to her?
I would say to her, go for it, because sky is
Yeah.
the limit and you can do whatever you want. The only thing I would say to her would be, think if you really want to work all of these hours, because you don't really think of it before. You just think to yourself, well, 10 hours, yeah, well, I can do it. But then if you do it like every day for a bit of time, you get tired, you notice you don't have much life. So I would say just think if you actually want to do it and if you're prepared to do that job for so many hours for years, and obviously the weather, but I would say go for it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Because
Wicked.
it's fun, isn't it?
Well, sometimes, not all the time. I love driving the crane, right? It's interesting to say that about the hours. I love driving the crane, but all the other stuff that goes with it, the hours, the politics, the planning, all the rest of it, not so much. But when I'm up the crane, I'm in my space, I'm okay, I'm good. So what, right, this is an interesting one. What do you reckon people think about you but get completely wrong?
I would say, sorry, I really had to think and look for the right words. I would say it's probably how I am, because I'm quite open. I approach people, I talk to them straight away. I treat them like we're best mates. I joke around and I can take the banter quite far. And then I think that's where people just think, I want something more than just, having a good chat and laugh. Because few times I was actually told, oh, she wants me or something. But also I think people, no, that was like a bit of a joke, but I think people think I'm just a bit silly girl, I used to bleach my hair like proper blonde, and when I actually take my hat off and when I speak to people and take the hat off, people say, oh, you're not as stupid as the blonde girls are, so like people just assume because of your hair color or because you, I don't know, wear makeup or something, like I always have some lines on my eyes and everything. So people just assume you're just a silly girl who just comes to show off. Because that's what people usually think about girls. Or they just come to show off on the side. So I think that's the things people think of me. Like, I'm a little bit silly and, I want something more from them than just a good laugh.
Yeah. Until they get to know you properly, then they know the real you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So I've got lastly, like I said, I didn't want to keep too long, but I've got some quick fire questions, although I can't find them now. Where are they?
No. Remember, I'm on maternity with a baby brain.
Yeah, no. So where the fuck have I put these questions? Some quick fire. I'm just trying to look through my files now. I've got it. I'm trying to be all technical. I've got a split screen, so I've got you on one half, and I've got my Word document on the other half. I'm trying to be all clever, but it's not working. I'm going to move that over there.
Practice makes perfect.
Can you still see me?
Yes, I can.
All right, hang on 2 secs then. I can't find them. Right, I know what to do.
Do you remember any of them?
No, I've got a terrible memory.
Is it about lifting? Are you going to ask me about it?
Right, okay. No, I've got some here.
How do you lift twin wall?
Right. These aren't all the questions. I'll try and think of some while I'm doing it. Okay, quick fire questions, yeah? Answer straight away. No thinking, okay? Ready? What's your favourite food?
Pizza.
Pizza, okay. What's your favourite music?
I don't think I have any.
Oh, really? No, I'm like that as well. Have you ever been sick in a taxi?
No, never.
Never. What
I fell asleep though.
Oh, we've all done that. Yeah. What celebrity would you like to have dinner with?
No one, actually. Idea. I don't really follow celebrities.
Who's the best crane driver you've ever worked with?
There is a list of them. You're one of them.
Good answer. Right answer. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got in my rough drafts. I did have more, but that'll do now. I know you've got to go. I really appreciate you coming on. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Well, it was a pleasure. I want to come again.
Yeah, I know.
Let's do it like next year when I come back to work.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that. So this is quite new. So I've gone from audio and now I've gone to this, but it's difficult for me to meet people because of work. I'm like where I'm working at the moment, so I'm having to do it like this. But eventually, I want to get a space and do a personal one where we're together. So hopefully we'll get you on that. I know you were stressed out and panicking, a bit anxious about this, but so was I, to be fair, because I didn't know how it was going to go. So, but we got through it.
But if you think of it, it's so much easier to be at work, You're on the crane. I'm just down there in my hat and glasses. No one can see us. We just do the job. And in here, it's a bit different, isn't it?
It is different. Yeah. When we're at work, we're in our environment and what we're comfortable with. So, yeah. But, it's been okay, though, isn't it? Went all right, I think.
Yeah, it's been proper fun. I really enjoyed it.
Good. So you'll come back. We'll have you again next time, definitely.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you take care and good luck with Lilly. Hope everything goes all right with work and everything when you go back.
Well,
and we'll keep in touch, yeah? I'll speak to you after anyway, yeah?
Always.
See you later, yeah?
See you later. Bye-bye.
There we go. That was Ania Bułecka. Hope you enjoyed that. So these are going to be once a month, hopefully. I'd really, really love to do these weekly because I really enjoy this. It's weird because I'm a real introvert. I don't like talking to people. That's why I got into crane driving, to get up in the cab and be out of the way of everyone. I just hate it. I hate doing the YouTube. I hate looking at myself on video and all that. But I like showing people what I do and everything. It's kind of my mission. But I actually really enjoy this. I like talking to chatting to people, learning about their industries, learning about their lives, and hopefully, obviously, this is for you. This is the people who want to get into the industry. So, with all these people, you'll learn about how they do things, learn about their roles, how they get into them, what problems they have, what they like, what they don't like. Hopefully, get some advice from them. So, like I say, we'll hopefully do these once a month. So probably the end of each month or the beginning, sort of whenever I can get them in. If I can get more time, then it would be more frequent. So that is it. That's it for me. The Construction Cogs Podcast. Jimmy signing out. Take it easy. Till next time, yeah?